Maine Republican Senator Susan Collins has announced that she does not support a nomination vote to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the Supreme Court before the election. She put the following statement out just a few minutes ago, about an hour ago now, and I want to read it to you, and we're going to break down the significance. She says, "In order for the American people to have faith in their elected officials, we must act fairly and consistently, no matter which political party is in power. President Trump has the constitutional authority to make a nomination to fill the Supreme Court vacancy, and I would have no objection to the Senate Judiciary Committees beginning the process of reviewing his nominee's credentials. Given the proximity of the presidential election, however, I do not believe that the Senate should vote on the nominee prior to the election. In fairness to the American people, who will either be re-electing the president or selecting a new one, the decision on a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court should be made by the president, who is elected on November 3rd. So basically, this is one Republican senator, one of the key ones needed to actually block Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell from putting someone on the court prior to the election, or should Trump lose in that lame duck period between November and January. What she's saying is, look, there's nothing wrong with Trump announcing his pick and starting the process of vetting them, but they should ultimately not have a vote on that person until Donald Trump has been confirmed as president again upon winning an election. That we're so close to the election where a third of the Senate and the president himself will basically be redecided that it's irresponsible to put somebody on the court for life given that. And also, she's alluding to the fact that Republicans, very much argued in 2016 that there shouldn't be an appointment in the final year of a presidential term because a vote should happen, and Scalia passing away and opening up his seat was way, way, way further away from the election than this instance with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. This is good to see, and I am going to give a tiny kudos to Susan Collins for remaining consistent, but we also have to be crystal clear. Susan Collins is looking out for one person, and that's Susan Collins, because Susan Collins is just one of the many Republican senators who, because of Donald Trump's failures over the last year especially, really since the start of this crisis we're all living under, she's in real danger of losing her seat. She's in a real tough spot in Maine. It's a difficult run for her. They have a ranked ballot, so you can't even worry about, the progressives splitting the vote. Many polls have her down, in some cases down quite substantively, and she has to think the only way she has a chance at saving her seat is to go against a president that people in her state are starting to reject and actually look like she's a moderate and consistent and she's a fair dealer. And one of the things she could do to convince some people that maybe voted for her before but are no longer with her is to say, look, I'll only nominate Trump's appointee if the election comes and goes and he's still president. I won't do it otherwise. And I think that's a perfectly reasonable response. Now, again, I think this is because she's facing real electoral pressure. And this is why I think the Democrats really need to hammer in on a few people that are moderates and fear the eventual electoral backlash, or are fearing immediate electoral backlash right now, given the situation. Another example would be, say, Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham's not a moderate. Lindsey Graham isn't somebody like Mitt Romney or Lisa Murkowski or Susan Collins that, has often taken stands, even if only rhetorical ones, against Donald Trump. He's largely been loyal to Trump during Trump's time as president. But recent polling has him in a dead heat against Harrison in South Carolina. Last year, if you told me that, the Republicans would be at risk of losing a South Carolina Senate seat, that Lindsey Graham would be at risk, I would have said you're probably, on something pretty fun. But we are here because of the poor performance of Donald Trump. And if someone like that is really worried, one of the things you can appeal to them on isn't honor, isn't consistency, isn't decency, isn't respecting norms and tradition. It's self-interest and selfishness. And you go to Lindsey Graham and you say, look, Lindsey, maybe the only way you're going to survive this is by looking like a moderate. And the way you do that, the way you convince people that don't like what Trump's doing with this, shock and awe appointment is to say you won't vote on it until after November. Say you won't vote on it until after the election and confirming that Donald Trump remains president. That's the only thing I could see happening, because I don't trust Republicans in general to do the right thing. This is one domino. I believe you need 4. You need 3 more Republicans to basically reject the process of nominating somebody before the election. Many think that Mitt Romney and Lisa Murkowski are also the sorts of people that would do the same. Murkowski has said before, I don't know if she's confirmed since last night's events, but she said recently that she would not vote to nominate in an election year. And so Lindsey Graham has also said that. And, if you can get a few people on board, maybe it'll happen. I'm very skeptical, but, if one domino has fallen, maybe more will. Pressure needs to be put on these people. Again, I cannot state this enough. Republican senators are not good people. They're not. They're not good people. Some are less worse than others, but what drives them all is self-interest. Hit them on that, and maybe you have a chance of blocking this nomination until the election.